So today I'll be talking about the new upcoming movies for the second half of 2023, giving my expectations and my opinions. I'm not gonna talk about all the movies because there are loads of movies that I simply don't care, and the majority of the people don't care also. So I'm just going to be talking about the big releases and some minor ones, but I think that those minor releases are going to be good and great movies for several aspects, like actors or directors or screenwriters and things like that. I'll be talking about the releases each month, starting with August because July is almost over. I'm recording this in the 26th. Probably we'll get before the end of the month, but I'm not going to be talking about July. I know there was some releases here, but I don't think it will be appropriate to talk about in this video. So let's go. In August, there is Meg 2, The Trench, Gran Turismo, and Blue Beetle. Meg 2, the first thing that I want to say is that I love the first movie. I know that it's a bad movie and not a lot of people like it. I maybe the audience likes, but I know the critics don't. But I like the movie because I think it's fun. And I think that this movie is going to be, it's going to look like the first movie. I think the script is going to be probably similar. I know there are, as we've seen in the trailer, 3 megalodons and 1 kraken, which is pretty exciting to me. But I know the movie isn't good, but it's those kind of movies that not a lot of people like it, but there is always that person. Everyone has their own movies that they know it's bad, but they like it as the same. So I think that the Meg 2 is going to be pretty much similar to the first one. So people who didn't like the first movie probably won't like this one either, but I think I will because I just like the first movie. I think it's fun. Gran Turismo. Based on the unbelievable, inspiring true story of a team of underdogs, a struggling working class gamer, a failed former race car driver, and an idealistic motorsport exec who risk it all to take on the most elite sport in the world. So, the director of this movie is Neil Blomkamp. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but he's a director who directed, of course, some big movies like District 9, Elysium, and I think this is going to be a pretty average movie. I think it's going to be decent because I don't really know much of the people who are working in this movie. I know the director, I know David Harbour, but I don't really expect much of this movie. It seems a bit strange in the trailers. I'm not putting a lot of faith in this movie. Blue Beetle. An alien relic chooses James Reyes to be its symbiotic host, bestowing the teenager with a suit of armor that's capable of extraordinary and unpredictable powers, forever changing his destiny as he becomes the superhero Blue Beetle. So, another superhero movie. What can I say? This superhero movie looks like other 10-15 movies that we've already seen. It's from DC, and I think that DC has been putting a lot of great works like Suicide Squad, the 2021, and the Batman. But I think from the trailers that this movie is going to be just another superhero movie. I don't think it's going to be as bad as like Morbius was, but I think it's going to be just generic like Black Widow and a lot of other movies. We still have, let me see. We still have like other 2 superhero movies in this year. Yes, 2 more superhero movies in this year. Just why? Just stop making superhero movies. This is not going anywhere. I don't think this is going to be a good movie. Maybe average, but I think it's going to be bad. Then September, The Nun 2, A Haunting in Venice, Poor Things, and The Creator. The Nun 2. 1956 France. A priest is murdered and evil is spreading. The sequel of the worldwide smash hit follows the sister Irene as she once again comes face to face with Valak, the demon nun. As you can see in this synopsis, IMDb knows that this is just another horror movie. Just another horror movie, nothing good will come out of this. We have 3 writers that I don't know any of them. Ian Goldberg, Richard Neng, Akela Cooper, and the director is Michael Chavez, who directed the Curse of La Llorona. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Spanish or something like that. But it's just going to be another bad horror movie from the Conjuring universe. And we already know where it's going to be leading to a lot of box office and a lot of bad movies, and they will just keep on going. The First Nun of 2018 was a bad movie, and I think this is going to be even a worse one. A Haunting in Venice. In post-World War II Venice, now retired and living in his own exile, reluctantly attends a seance. But when one of the guests is murdered, it is up for the former detective to once again uncover the killer. So, this movie is an interesting one because I wasn't expecting from the trailer that would be a horror movie. I had seen people talk about this movie, and it looked like a drama mystery movie for like Knives Out, um, like Knives Out in that kind of stuff that would be a detective investigating a crime. But apparently, it's going to be a horror movie also, which makes me wonder how are they going to pull that out? Because it's a lot of genres in that movie that don't seem to fit. But it's a strange thing. I watched the trailer and it seems that there will be a lot of horror things in the movie, and I'm just curious to see. I don't know where to put my expectations. I'm just curious to see. There's good actors like Michelle Yeoh and Kenneth Branagh from the first Kenneth Branagh movie, the Death in the Nile. It seems just a very average that movie, so maybe A Haunting in Venice will be the same thing. It's an adaptation from Agatha Christie's book, so maybe it's going to be the same thing as the other one. But I'm actually curious to see this. Poor Things. The incredible tale about the fantastical evolution of Bella Baxter, a young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist Dr. Godwin Baxter. This is a Yorgos Lanthimos movie. Do I need to say more? Yeah, the trailer is a bit strange. The movie it looks kind of strange, to say the least. It has a lot of great actors like Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and Willem Dafoe. That's something that will pop out in the Academy and the nominations for Oscars, not Oscars, but you understand, awards. Because probably this movie is going to be a really good one. Yorgos Lanthimos is famous for making a lot of strange movies like The Lobster, The Favorite, and he's a good director actually, so very curious to watch this movie. One thing that I found I found a bit strange was in the trailer, the visual effects, like that sky was really strange to watch. I don't know how is that thing going to appear in the movie, but there's probably some meaning to it. So I think this is going to be a great movie. Yorgos Lanthimos is a really good director. I found his works good but strange, of course, because he makes really strange movies. But I think this is going to be a great movie. The Creator. Described as a post-apocalyptic thriller involving a future impacted by a war between humans and AI. So this movie is coming out in the best time possible, basically. Now with these things of ChatGPT and AI taking over the jobs of people in the cinema industry, as we've seen. The director of The Creator is also the director of Godzilla from 2014 and Rogue One. I don't think that's something to be amazed of. I mean, those are relative good movies. I think Rogue One is a great movie from Star Wars. I think it's the best Star Wars movie because I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Star Wars, and I think that Rogue One makes me more interesting in Star Wars than any other movie. That's a polemical opinion, I know, but I have to say it. But I found the trailer of the movie too much exposition. I think that I think that the revelation of the kid being in an AI, as you see in the trailer, this is no spoilers because it's in the trailer. You can all see all the trailers and the description of the video. Sorry, I didn't say that before. The trailer it shows. I think it shows too much. I don't know because I haven't watched the movie, of course, so I can say if it shows too much or not. But it looks like another action movie. It looks well done, like the production design and the CG and the visual effects look very clean, very nice. One thing that I found really strange was the design of the kid being a AI, like this part of her neck and the head, like it's really strange. It's really strange. It doesn't really. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's a bit strange. I don't really enjoy that design. I think they could have done something better, something different. But the movie it looks like another action movie. If it's just another action movie, it's a decent one because of these visual effects look very clean. and I think I will like it. For October, Craven the Hunter, The Exorcist Believer, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Five Nights at Freddy's. Craven the Hunter. Russian immigrant Sergei Kravinov is on a mission to prove that he is the greatest hunter in the world. So this is a very short synopsis, and I don't know how they're going to pull that out. Um, for this is just one phrase, and they will make an entire movie about that. I know that this movie isn't really expected as much of a good movie. Everyone is talking about Craven being a bit of a bomb, but the bomb has already came out. It's Oppenheimer. I think this is in association with Marvel, another superhero movie. This time it's not. This time it's not actually superhero, but I don't think this is not for a Marvel movie. It's not for the MCU, but it looks like a pretty bad movie to me. I think this is going to be as bad as Morbius, maybe a little bit better because Morbius is just yeah. I don't think so. Maybe not as bad as Morbius, but Craven the Hunter is definitely not the best movie that's going to come out in this year. The Exorcist Believer. Sequel to the 1973 film about a 12-year-old girl who is possessed by a mysterious demonic entity, forcing her mother to seek the help of two priests to save her. So, what to expect from this movie? Not much. I think David Gordon Green, the director, has already directed the trilogy of the new Halloween movies. He made a good job in the first in 2018. Then it dropped out a bit in the Halloween Kills, and then it dropped out a lot in Halloween Ends because that movie was very bad. But I think that if it's going to be like the Halloween trilogy, this Exorcist Believer is going to be a good job, and then the other two movies are not going to be good jobs. They're going to be very bad jobs, actually. David Gordon Green said that he wanted to make a trilogy for The Exorcists, the remake, of course, and I think this is going to be a pretty bad decision. I think that this is not going to be good. This horror movie, I really like horror movies, my favorite genre in cinema, but I'm not putting much faith on David Gordon Green. I don't think this is going to be a great movie. And coming from Halloween Ends, I really hope that this movie is going to be better than Halloween Ends. I really hope. Killers of the Flower Moon. Members of the Osage tribe in the United States are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 1920s, sparking a major FBI investigation involving J. Edward Hoover. So this is a Martin Scorsese movie. As I've seen, this is going to be a 3 hour and 30 minutes long movie. That's a lot. It's going to be starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone. And I'm putting faith on this movie. Martin Scorsese, it's making a lot of great films. At this time, he's already made The Irishman. I'm expecting a lot of this movie because Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, as you've seen in the trailer, DiCaprio making that accent that he really likes to do. I really like when DiCaprio makes that accent of Texas person, and I think this is going to be a movie to be remembered and probably going to get a lot of awards. Yeah, I'm expecting a lot for this movie. I'm expecting a lot. Five Nights at Freddy's. A troubled security guard begins working at Freddy's Fast Beer Pizza. During his first night on the job, he realizes that the night shift at Freddy's won't be so easy to get through. Pretty soon he will unveil what actually happened at Freddy's. So this is the adaptation for the cinema of the franchise of games Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's in the games. I'm a big fan. We've been waiting for this movie so long. Everyone who's fan of this game has been waiting for this movie for so long, and it's finally coming out. And I'm really excited because the trailer looks pretty good. Not the movie that looks pretty good, but the design of the animatronics. Like, we can see that this movie has been well thought. We can see there has been put a lot of effort for this movie to look good for the audience and the fans of Five Nights at Freddy's. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this is going to be a movie above average of horror movies. Like, it's going to be an average one. I don't think they will come out with the cleverness that the games were. Like, there is a lot of theories about the games, especially the first one, and I think they will want to make a franchise for the cinema. We can see that the writer is Scott Cawthon, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I think they will want to make a franchise for the cinema. I'm not putting a lot of faith in that because I don't think that a lot of people will want to see this movie. Like everyone who's a fan of the game will want to see, but not a lot of people know. Not a lot of people are fans of the game. Not a lot of people are expecting much of this movie, and I think that for the box office, this movie won't come out really great. But I think I will definitely enjoy this movie because I really enjoy the games, and it looks like I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun watching this movie. November, Dune Part 2, The Marvels, The Hunger Games, and Napoleon. Dune Part 2. Paul Atreides unites with Shani and the Freemen while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Well, this is going to be another Denis Villeneuve movie, so we can already expect that this movie is going to be above the rating of 6. And I really like Denis Villeneuve as a filmmaker. He's a really good director. He's made a lot of great works in the last years, and I haven't watched the first Dune. I know that it's a bit strange to comment on Dune Part 2 if I haven't watched the first one, but I haven't watched. I would very much enjoy to watch it in the cinema, but at the time that came out, I wasn't able to. And right now, I really want to see the first movie to watch the second one. I really want to watch this movie in the cinema because I know that the visual effects are going to be astonishing, and I'm expecting that this movie is going to be a great one. I think it's going to be a great movie for this year, and I'm just so happy to see so many great movies come out this year that I think it's going to be another great year for cinema. I think it's been already. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Coriolanus No. Oh my god, that's a hard name. Mentors and develops feelings for the female District 12 tribute during the 10th Hunger Games. I don't really know what to comment on this movie because I haven't even watched it. Because I didn't watch the first movies of the Hunger Games, those ones with Jennifer Lawrence. I haven't read the books, and I just don't really want to know about. I'm not interested in this story. I'm not interested in the Hunger Games. I think this movie is going to be just like just a generic movie. Also, I don't know what to comment. Sorry about that, guys. But I know there are a lot of fans of Hunger Games, especially nowadays with these battle royale games that are coming out. I just don't find much interesting in this movie. I will watch it, of course, because it's a pretty big launchment. Apparently. But I don't know what to expect of this movie. I don't know. Napoleon. The film takes a personal look at Napoleon Bonaparte's origins and his swift, ruthless climb to emperor viewed through the prism of his addictive and often volatile relationships with his wife and one true love, Josephine. Napoleon, I'm really excited about because we've already seen a great historical movie as a biography of Oppenheimer. We're going to be watching another historical movie of Napoleon. The director is Ridley Scott, who I don't think I have to comment much on him because he's a really great director. His best movies are probably back then in the before the 2000s, but his last works like The Last Duel, Gucci's House, Lost in Mars, Alien Covenant, not so much, but okay. Prometheus is a great movie. Prometheus is a good movie. And yeah, I'm really expecting much for Napoleon, especially because the main actor is Joaquin Phoenix, and he's been making a lot of great works like The Joker, Boy is Afraid, and things like that. I'm really expecting a lot of this movie. I think it's going to be great. Ridley Scott, a great director. He's not been in the script, which I find even better because he hasn't been. Because I think he's great as a director, and him not having his hand in the script is great. One thing that I have to comment on this movie is the language, because Napoleon is of course French, as everyone knows, and they're making the movie in English with the French accent, which it's a bit strange, it's a bit odd, but if I can just forget that and just simply watch the movie, probably I will find in the first couple of minutes of the movie, I will find that the accent is a bit strange and it will probably feel off the movie. But I think we can relevate that and just go through the movie. And I think it's going to be a great movie, another historical movie, which is a type of movie that I really enjoy. And I think it's going to be a great movie because it's Ridley Scott. And in December, Wonka. The story will focus specifically on the young Willy Wonka and how he met Oompa Loompas on one of his earliest adventures. Well, this looks like a kids movie. Like I don't know what Timothée Chalamet is doing in this movie. Like he's already proven that he's a really great actor. He's just pretty childish in this movie. I'm talking about the trailer, of course, because as I've seen the trailer, it looks like a pretty childish movie. I really liked the appearance of Hugh Grant. I think that was pretty funny what Hugh Grant done in when he appeared in the trailer, like as the Oompa Loompa. I think that was really funny, big comedy. But this looks like another Disney movie. I know it's not from Disney, or is it? No, it's not from Disney. But it looks like another movie that they want to make a live action of Disney. And we've already seen two movies of Charlie and the Fabric of Chocolates. The first movie in the 1970s, I think, and I don't think this is going to be a great movie. I don't really want to watch it because it's a musical, and I don't like music, and I don't like musicals. And Timothée Chalamet is just I don't know how to I don't know how to say this, but he looks very childish. It looks very strange. I'm not putting much faith in this movie. Actually, I'm not putting faith at all. I don't want to watch this movie. Yeah, that's just it about Wonka. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really expect much. So that's the video, guys. Probably I jumped out some movies that were coming, and some of you wanted to know about or wanted me to comment on. But I think these movies are going to be the biggest launch months for the second part of 2023. I'm really excited for a lot of these movies. I really want to get my expectations not so high, because I know that I will be having some disappointments if I get this so high. But I want to watch these movies, and I think this year has been great for cinema in general, and I think it will get just better. So that's the video. We will watch these movies and form our own opinions. So I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.